Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy Poole, and I'm the host of The Moment on Real Estate Social, where we explore and celebrate the necessary transformational process one must go through to achieve a very high level of success in the real estate industry. Today we have the great pleasure of hanging out with Andy O'Shea. Andy is a top coach with Kaizen Coaching. Andy, thank you so much for coming on the show, my man.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I actually had the pleasure and honor of sharing the stage with Andy just a few weeks ago at the Snoqualmie Golf Course. That was phenomenal.
It was a great event, a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Great time. It was actually my first time talking to that many people on stage. It was apparent that that I was probably the least experienced person on stage.
Once you started telling stories, you were fantastic.
Then it was good.
You had the audience in your palm of your hand.
Oh, well, perfect. I'll tell more stories.
That's right.
So as you know, Andy, the show is called The Moment. What would you characterize as being your moment, your defining moment or series of moments that has allowed you to be the man you are today?
You know, it's a hard question to answer when you look at the scope of a life, but for me, there were a couple of key moments. One, I grew up in a family, really loving family. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and very loving, very caring, but also incredibly poor, very poor. I wore hand-me-down clothes my whole life.
Okay.
Even graduating in high school, I'm still wearing clothes that other people are giving me.
Really?
My dad worked really hard providing for us. My mom did a lot of different things, but she was also ill quite a bit. And so at about 8 or 9 years old, I remember one time my brother and my sisters were off somewhere doing something, and I was home, and my mom had made some food for dinner. And I remember very clearly sitting at dinner and looking at what I was eating, and I said to my mom, "So, where's the meat?" And she looked at me and said, "Well, we don't have any." And it was a simple thing, but as a kid, all of a sudden I realized, we don't have money for any meat. I'm wearing other people's clothes, and we had a loving family, but there's nothing here of excess. We made some great memories. We did some camping and fishing, things like that. But that moment sort of helped me clarify what I'm going to be in life is going to be up to me.
Yeah.
And I don't want this.
Right. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So, coming to that realization, did you do something different? I mean, you're probably a young child at that point.
I was quite young still, yep.
Did you by chance do anything different? Was there, I guess, how were you different from that experience?
From that moment forward in my life, I knew I may not be the smartest person in the room. I may not have the background that other people do.
Sure.
But if I want to accomplish things, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be a genuine person.
Yeah.
I'm going to be kind and giving like my parents to really honor them. But I also knew if I was going to accomplish things, I was going to need to take the bull by the horns.
Okay.
And I was going to need to learn how to be a leader.
Right.
Because if you're not a leader, then you're at the whim of other people.
Yes.
And I knew if I was going to make something of my life, then I would need to become a leader.
Love it.
So it's funny when I look back at my leadership track. Now I'm doing leadership coaching.
Yeah.
In the 3rd grade, I was a representative for my class. 5th grade, 6th grade, I'm the school president as a 6th grader. Junior high, my friend's the president in 7th grade, I'm the president in 8th grade.
Interesting.
Through high school, I'm the president of my ASB. I get to college, and I do leadership in college in every different way that I can. And my first job out of college, I'm a tour guide responsible for 40 wealthy people all over we traveled the Canadian Rockies, and I'm 20 years old, and I'm leading. And I knew that to be a leader, it would give me a lot more opportunities in life to accomplish and to experience what I wanted to. So I made a distinct decision then, I need to learn how to be a leader.
Awesome. And so what does that mean,
Yeah.
Being a leader, being someone who's 20 years old? What are the main differences between someone who's a follower and 20 and somebody who is leading and in charge of controlling and dictating kind of what people do?
Yep. So 2 different ways to live life. One, you live life and you kind of take what comes. Whatever happens, and I just learn how to respond to it. People who are truly leaders in every level, every area of their life, It's about looking at your whole life and determining, what do I want out of this part of my life? How do I take charge? How do I learn and grow and study? Who do I know that knows this, that I can learn from, so that I can really become good at this and lead even in this one category of my life? And then you apply that to any situation that you're in.
Yeah.
Are you just living life as a person who takes things as they come, or someone who's going to create, who's going to... leadership isn't about being in charge.
No.
It's really the mindset of, I want to accomplish things, and what do I need to learn and grow, and who do I spend time with so that I can be that.
Love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
What does this statement mean to you?
Sure.
It's about the people.
It's about the people. It's a easy answer, really. It's about the people is, if you surveyed your 5 closest friends, what would they say about you? Because we're not a reflection of what we accomplish in life, although accomplishments feel good.
Sure.
Gives us opportunities and options.
Right.
It's about the people. Wherever you are you genuine?
Yeah.
Are you authentic?
Right.
Are you pretending? Are you trying to be somebody to impress the people that you're with?
Yep.
Or do the people really get to know the true you, the genuine you? And my life goals are really about my faith, my wife, my kids, my family, my friends, everyone knowing that I would do anything for them at any time if I'm able. And even if I'm not able, I'll still probably try. So for me, life really is about the people.
Wow. That's a way better answer than I was expecting. Awesome. Fantastic. Being a coach.
Yeah.
How important is mindset?
It's everything, really. One of the other moments in my life that helped define who I am, in college I had a mentor. I was in classes with him, and I was in a guys group with him 3 years in a row. Every Thursday night we'd go to his home, my friend Ed. At one point he was sharing part of what he did to be a good man, to be a good husband, to be a good father.
Yeah.
And he talked about getting up early every day at 4:30.
Okay.
And he would read, and he would pray, and he would write, and he would journal.
Right.
And he said over time that made him, it helped him become the person that he wanted to be. And I said to him out loud in this group, I'd really like to be like that. And he said something really profound to me that it really changed everything for me. He said, Andy, nobody's going to get up for you. And it made so much sense, and it rang so true for me that if I wanted that to be important in my life, then I was going to need to do that. Again, about taking ownership and not just responding to the life that happens. In coaching, it's really about the mindset of, what do you want to accomplish? If you want to get in shape, are you getting up early? Are you eating well? Are you watching yourself? If you want to have good relationships, how are you working to do that? If your mindset is, I'm going to take what comes and respond to it and react to it, it's very different than, what does success look like in every different category of your life?
Okay.
What does it look like, and what do I need to focus on to be able to get there?
Right.
It's really everything.
Okay. Love it. So we just heard you talk a lot about mindset. How would you define mindset in its simplest, purest form?
Wow. That's a hard one, Jeremy. That's a really hard one. How would I define mindset? How a person chooses to focus on their priorities. If you're a mindset is something that you choose, that you hone over time, because there are times when mindsets change.
Absolutely.
They change from one priority to the other. When you have a death in the family, or when you have a family member added, you have a relationship that doesn't last. It's the way you choose that helps you work toward the success that you really intend to achieve.
I like that.
And it's not trying.
Sure.
It's not hoping or praying or wishing.
Sure.
It's intending and then going after it by making that conscious decision.
I love that. I'm actually working on a book that I'm writing.
Awesome.
It's called The Lens, and it's all about perception.
Awesome.
Basically, having the ability to intentionally choose which lens you want to look
Yeah.
at a particular situation
For sure.
or an
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
or a tragedy. But I think that's so huge is if you're dealing with something, you're going to have a emotional response.
Yep.
And you have to ask yourself, is this emotional response a positive one or a negative one? And if it is negative, you have to ask yourself, the second question is, which lens am I choosing to view this thing through?
Absolutely, yeah.
So
That's great.
I love what you said there.
That's great.
What's the best book you've read in the last 12 months?
It's funny you should ask, Jeremy. I always bring a book with me, and this is one of the books. I've read a number this year. I've actually read this several times, but I reread it again this year.
Okay.
Pete Carroll's Win Forever. And the part of it that really shook me and helped redefine some things for me, he talks about reaching your potential. It's a 2-word phrase that's so powerful, and I use it a lot. And Pete, if you're out there, I'd love to talk to you about this concept. It's the relentless pursuit. Relentless pursuit of a competitive edge in everything you do.
Okay.
He says, I want to be a good man. I want to be a good husband, a good father. I want to be a good coach. I want to be a good community leader. No matter what you do, it's striving with a relentless pursuit to become better and better every day. And he says, winning is not about beating your competition, although, hand off the ball and maybe we win the competition, Super Bowl 2 years in a row, but that's a different story. The beating your competition isn't really the point.
Obviously a Seahawks fan.
Well, it's Blue Business Casual Friday, of course a Seahawks fan.
Love it.
It's not about beating your competition as much as it is bringing out your potential, being and becoming your best every single day.
Okay.
And I, since that moment when I'm a little kid and I realize we don't have money for food, I'm wearing other people's clothes. If I want to accomplish something in my life, it's going to be up to me. And there have been times when I felt like I was really pouring my whole self into it.
Okay.
But when that phrase hit me, relentless pursuit, relentless like a dog on a bone that just won't stop until it's all gone. Relentless like you're working like you have to make enough money to pay for cancer treatment. Relentless like you're about to lose someone important in your life. That's relentless. And where am I applying that in my life and where am I not? Where am I accepting mediocre? Where am I accepting something that is much less than what I'm capable of because I'm not being relentless enough? So that concept really, really shook me and it's really made a difference for me.
Wow. That's, honestly, I've never really asked myself that question. That's huge. I mean, I'm a pretty ambitious person, but if I asked myself that, where am I not being relentless enough? I think that would change quite a few things. Actually, in fact, I'm going to go home and make a list. I'm not just saying this. I'm actually going to do that. That's fantastic. Well, so is that an exercise that you do with your clients?
It is, and it's something that I bring out in coaching regularly. Okay. Whatever we're talking about, you can apply this relentless pursuit conversation to. Wow. As a team, how are you being relentless in your pursuit of teamwork? Are you being relentless in your pursuit of customer service? Are you being relentless in your pursuit of improving your systems? Are you being relentless in your pursuit of profit? Or are you just proud to be busy?
Right.
You can use it really in any part of your life. And for me, life is much more than achievement, making money and doing these incredible things. Although, trips to Europe like my family took and cruises to Alaska, which they're great.
Sure.
But it's so much deeper than what we achieve. It's who we are. It's really who we are.
Right.
So I ask people in coaching, are you being relentless in pursuing being the best spouse or partner you can be? Are you being relentless in your pursuit of fatherhood if you're a father or a mother?
Yeah.
Are you being relentless in your pursuit of creating a legacy for the future? Or are you just living every day, getting up and kind of seeing how it goes?
I love that line of questioning because if you're honest, the only answer you can have is there's more.
There is more.
And so if you say, well, no, and you're honest, what you're saying is there's more. And by you posing that question and asking that question in that way, you personally as coach isn't saying there's more, but you're allowing them the space.
Absolutely.
To look at it and say, you know what?
Exactly right, Jeremy.
There's so much more. And if there is so much more, why am I not going after it? Is it because I don't think I deserve it? Is it because I don't think I can do it? Typically, that's not the answer.
No.
I think what it does, it puts a spotlight on one's potential and dreams and aspirations, and it really creates a sense of urgency for right now.
It does.
If you were being relentless to build your business, to being that spouse, to being that ideal partner, whether it's a business partner or a romantic situation, it changes your approach.
It does.
I'm actually super excited about that because I think at the end of the day, if you go home and you say, what am I really trying to do this month, this year, this decade? And if you attach the word or infuse the word relentless in there, it changes how you have to view that,
it
that
does.
thing.
It sure does.
Well, thank you for that.
My pleasure. And thank Pete. I'd like to thank him in person
thank you,
sometime, so that'd be great.
How did you get involved in coaching? Now, before we go there, I understand that you had a fairly and very successful career in real estate. So how did you go from crushing it in real estate to now being a coach?
It's a great journey. I've been in radio. I did family counseling. I have a background in counseling. I did corporate headhunting for a long time. And then I had two friends that I went to college with who were gracious enough to me to say, you know what, Andy, we think you'll be really good in real estate. Why don't you give this a try? We'll teach you, we'll apprentice you, we'll show you the business. So I worked with two very good friends for a couple of years, and they taught me more than most realtors learn in a lifetime.
Wow.
We were selling 75, 80 homes a year. And then I went off on my own and was on my own for a while and really loved the freedom and flexibility. And then I joined a couple of other friends and put a team together. And the team got to 100 homes a year and having a blast. And I found all along the way that the more people that kept coming to me and asking questions, what are you guys doing well, and how are you enjoying this, and how do you keep flexible in your schedule so your life is more important than the money you're making? I ended up giving advice and sort of counsel and going to coffee and lunch with a lot of people. And I had done that in headhunting, I had done that in counseling, I had done that in other places, and realized over time that that's just part of me. I like to help people think, figure out their obstacles and their goals, and then plan how to get there.
Love it.
So it became really natural for me to gravitate toward coaching. And I've also had incredible coaches all throughout my life. In the company that I was a part of, I had the great privilege of working for Gene, who is just this unbelievable guy and super talented trainer and coach and businessman, one of my amazing mentors. I worked for Ben, who was just a brilliant owner, leader, businessman, entrepreneur.
Awesome.
Respect him so highly and learned so much from him in leadership, and I was doing a lot of coaching for my CEOs at the time, doing a lot of coaching for my top people. And really the time came for me to break away from leadership in real estate to be doing coaching. I had a number of family situations that come up. My oldest ended up with a heart condition that we're still trying to get to the bottom of.
Oh no.
And a sister who battled breast cancer, and a father-in-law, and just a number of things. And I kind of decided that I needed to get to a place where if I'm really truly talking this life of family first and taking care of your own, then I needed to step away from leadership and do coaching full time. So I honestly took that risk about a year ago, but I've been coaching for so many years leading up to this. It's just a natural part of me.
Awesome. That's great. So I'm sure, as you're aware, a good portion of our audience are people in real estate. Most of them are agents. Most of them don't have coaches. As a coach, what would you recommend for those individuals who are dead set on building a successful career in real estate, who don't have a coach, who don't know where to go? What would you suggest? Is there a book? Is there a phone number?
It's a good question. Where to start if you don't have a coach? Find 2 or 3 people in your world that you really respect at a high level and simply invite them to coffee, invite them to lunch, invite them to breakfast. Everybody's got to eat. So find a time that they enjoy and ask if you can just be with them. Ask them 5 or 6 questions. How did they get to where they are? What mistakes did they make? And see if they will unofficially mentor you. And then ask them, are they coached? Because many of the people that we end up respecting in our lives in different areas have been coached by someone or are currently being coached.
For a while, sure.
And there are different times in our life. Sometimes we have a physical coach to get in shape. Sometimes we have an emotional coach. Sometimes we have a business coach. Sometimes we have a finance coach. So for realtors out there, if you don't have a coach, look into it. because for most people, they think it's just way too expensive. I couldn't do that. And I also don't want to just be talking about accountability all the time.
Right.
Some people, I want to do my own thing, but maybe a coach could help listen to me. For me, coaching is not about accountability as much as it is leveraging your strengths and reaching your potential. Accountability is helpful, for sure, but it's really about leveraging your strengths and reaching your potential.
Amazing, thank you. Talk to me a little bit about Kaizen Coaching as an organization, your role in that, and the specific style or brand of coaching that you provide.
Okay, so Kaizen Coaching is the process of 1% improvement. It's about constant, continuous, steady improvement.
Okay.
So our organization I do leadership coaching for our Kaizen group. We do events, we do weekly coaching, we do monthly coaching. The particular focus is in whatever the industry. There is some real estate coaching, there's some folks in mortgage, and people in different industries as well. It really comes back to that, let's understand who you are, what your goals are, and then help you figure out ways to truly improve so that you can get there. Some people have the approach that we're going to analyze everything, we're going to swipe the slate clean and start over.
Yeah.
And that's not really the approach that we think works best.
Great.
It's a very personal approach. There's some organic to it. I mean, you really have to work with people long enough to be able to develop trust.
Sure.
Because some people pay a coach so that they can tell other people they have a coach. But it's not really about achieving their life goals.
Right.
For us, it's about developing that organic trust and relationship so that they know we believe in them and that they can get there, and that outside perspective will help.
Great. Who is your ideal client for you personally? Who do you really like to work with?
I love to work with people who are ready to build something significant. They're maybe happy where they are, they're making great money, but they just know that there's more. They know they have greater capability than that. Whether they want to grow their business, and I'm working with people in a number of different industries, and the common thread that I find in my coaches, they're happy with life, and yet they know there's more potential.
Right.
The potential's there. It's not always about the money. It's about the potential for health, relationships, finances, all that, even spirituality.
Yeah.
So the ideal person that I'm looking for would be the one who really wants to make a difference with their life, who wants the most meaningful, productive, successful life they can have for whoever it is that is in their life, their most important people.
Sure.
And so that when they are no longer doing whatever they're doing, that people don't remember what they accomplished, but they remember who they were.
Great.
Those are the folks I'm looking for to coach.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
I greatly appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure, Jeremy.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again next week.